Hey everybody, this is Melissa and Steph from Girl Chat Sports.
Hey guys.
And we just wanted to take a minute and just tell you, I guess, as you may have noticed, we didn't have our podcast last week. And as I'm sure you have heard by now, in regards to the Las Vegas massacre that occurred here on October 1st, last Sunday, killing 58 innocent bystanders at the Route 91 Country Music Festival, as well as injuring over 500 spectators that were there at the festival. It has shooken, if that's even a word, Las Vegas to its core. I've been a resident here for 16 years. I don't know, Steph, how long have you lived in Vegas?
21 years.
21 years. And both of us, I mean, we've all experienced, the incidents that occurred like in Orlando, the mass shooting out there, the terrorist attacks out in London and other cities, but you never know how hard it would hurt or how it feels until it actually hits you in your own city. And as much as I like to claim Seattle and I love my home so much, Vegas is my home and this is where I reside. And ever since the incident, the community in Las Vegas has stepped up tremendously. And I know Stephanie can attest to that and some of the things that, her company has done. I work for the county out here, and most of the first responders as well work for the county. And there's been a lot of things the county has done. I think we just wanted to take a minute to kind of just talk briefly about what's happened out here and kind of how we've been affected by it. We obviously took off last week, and we are kind of debating on maybe not doing our podcast regular for next week and maybe coming back in November. But Girl Chat Sports After Dark will still continue. It's just been a little bit harder for us to maintain and to do all the behind the scenes work that Girl Chat Sports regular podcast takes in regards to keeping up with all of the football games and the things that are happening, because we're kind of preoccupied right now with trying to make sure that Las Vegas is good. So, Stephanie, any
Yeah, and I
words
just
from
want
you?
to say thank you so much to everyone that was, reaching out to us and making sure that we're okay. And even, on Twitter, like some of our followers and our listeners reached out to check on us, knowing that we're in Las Vegas. And so we really, really appreciate the support and outpouring of love that everybody has shown us. It really means a lot to us that you thought of us. And we also really appreciate the prayers for the people that are still injured. It's been very devastating for us having this happen in our community, and to feel that outpouring of love and support from people all across the world. Actually, I had people from different countries even reaching out to me specifically. That we just really want to say thank you, everyone, for thinking of us and for your continued prayers and support.
And keep the prayers and support coming, because there are still a lot of families of those injured, a lot of families of the deceased that are still here in Las Vegas trying to wrap up plans that they've had, or to get all of those situations under wraps. Some of the people that were at the concert didn't even get their cars out until almost a week after. And there were people that were just in town for that. So people have had to extend their trips. Family have had to come out to take care of loved ones. And I've seen a lot of great support from the community and people outside the community, people that have flown in from out of state to help volunteer, to work at the Family Emergency Center that's been set up there at the convention center. There's been a lot of great things that have been happening, and it's really brought, I think, the Las Vegas community together. Not many people really believe that Vegas had much of a community, I think, until something like this happened, and it's been very heartwarming to know and to see it happen. And I'm really proud of Las Vegas. And again, we just really wanted to take a moment to explain to the listeners kind of how we're doing, and we're just thankful that we have you guys supporting us, and we're thankful for Las Vegas and the community that's been able to come together around this terrible, terrible incident.
We truly appreciate the love, everyone.
Yes, so stay tuned. Girl Chat Sports regular podcast will definitely be back, and keep an ear out, and please share the Girl Chat Sports After Dark, because we really have been enjoying doing it, and we'll continue on. Please keep, again, Vegas in your prayers, and we are Vegas strong. And now back to Girl Chat Sports After Dark. Hey, and welcome back to Girl Chat Sports After Dark with the lovely ladies of Football BFF. Tonight, we have Sally and Elisa and Fran joining us tonight to discuss a little bit more of the behind the scenes aspects of football and your favorite players. Hello, ladies.
Hi.
How are you guys doing tonight?
Super good. Pretty well. Very excited.
Wonderful. Well, as our listeners might know, we did start a new podcast that goes alternating weeks from our regular Girl Chat Sports podcast. It is called After Dark, where myself and ladies from Football BFF will be joining us, be joining me, and we will be discussing some of certain players that are, maybe hot in the press or something that happened over a specific weekend or if some kind of controversy piled up, just to get to know them behind the scenes, behind the mask, off the field. We've been using those hashtags lately to promote it. Hashtag off the field, hashtag behind the mask. So without further ado, I'm not sure who wanted to go first, and if you wanted to give us a little introduction on the player you guys chose for the week.
Yeah, I'm going to do Frank Gore.
Ooh, okay.
This is Fran.
Hi, Fran.
Hi. I am going to talk about a favorite of lots of people, and that is J.J. Watt. And I'm actually going to take probably an unpopular player, kind of universally hated, Jay Cutler, and just give some insight and some backstory on him.
Love it. It sounds like a great episode we've got coming up. So we've got Frank Gore, Jay Cutler, as well as J.J. Watt, which I know has been a lot in the news lately. Actually, all three of them have actually been in the news lately for their own quirks and quarrels and fundraising and whatever else you want to call it, as well as coming out of retirement for Jay Cutler. So who wants to go first? Who's up? Batter up.
I'll go up. I was watching the Colts versus the 49er game this weekend.
Uh-huh.
And I noticed the announcers were talking a lot lot about Frank Gore. And I remember Frank Gore from when he played for the 49ers.
Right, because you guys are all based out there in California, in the Bay Area.
Yeah. Yeah, and they were talking about all his running records. So do you know which ones he broke that game or what was going on
he
with that?
did. He actually, so this is his 13th season. Of course, he was with the Niners for so long. I'm actually a Niners hater. I was kind of bred that way a little bit. So I've never been a Niners fan by any means, but he was actually drafted by the Niners back in 2005. He was, I think, a third-round draft pick. He played for them forever, and recently went over to the Colts. This is his 13th season, but he actually moved into the 7th of all time. What do you call? What was that?
Total rushing yards?
Yes, total. So he moved into the 7th all time for rushing yards, which is awesome because there's not, 7th of all time in the entire NFL is a great achievement. Yeah. And I think one thing that also made it so great was that this happened against his former team. So it's kind of like, haha, screw it up in your face. And the second thing was that it was also took place when they were actually honoring Peyton Manning, their legendary quarterback. So it was kind of like a great Sunday of football for them there in Indiana.
Yeah. But when I was watching Frank Gore, I'm like, I know something juicy happened with him.
Okay.
I didn't remember it. I couldn't remember if it was an arrest or what the whole thing was.
Uh-huh.
So I went to look it up, and it's pretty juicy.
Ooh.
And I hate that when we're watching these and they're touting his, big accomplishment, like, what I want to know is the story I'm going to tell. And it's like, so there's two that are really great.
Okay.
So in 2013, he was dating and has two sons with his. They might even still be dating his girlfriend's last baby mama, and her name is Drick Harris, Drick. And Drick's brother.
Wait, can we just stop there for a second? Because who names their child Drick? If you just remove the R, what are you left with?
Well, or maybe it was the premise definition.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Sorry. Okay, continue.
Yes. So Drick's brother also plays in the NFL and was a teammate with Frank. Okay.
Oh.
And Roscoe has a girlfriend, baby mama too. So they all started hanging out together. And what happens when ballers hang out together? Well, Frank and Lena start hooking up.
And that was that's his girlfriend's brother's girlfriend?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. And Drick was not going to have any of it. So they got in a physical brawl where Drick beat the shit out of Lena and pulled out her weave. I don't know why I find that funny. It's not funny. They didn't get mad at the guy. No, it's all women fight.
Right, of course, because it only takes one person to screw over the other person, right? Not really, but that's okay.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
But thankfully, Frank and Drick worked it out, and the next year he proposed. Aww. It's a love story.
So pull out your weave, and then it's like, I'll propose. Okay, great.
Oh, yeah, it's all good after that. Okay. But then, the next year, after they're engaged now, and they post their engagement photos, it comes out that there's now multiple women posting photos of them with Frank the week before. The week before their engagement posted. Okay, so 2 different ones, not just one side chick, 2. Okay, and then when you go down into that story, and this is all from Baller Alert or one of those. Anyway, so there was one chick that he was dating, and then she came over to Frank's house with her friend Jasmine. Jasmine was 17, 16, a little underage.
Oh,
but,
Lord.
You know, I mean, so then Frank got her number and started hooking up with her and had her even moved in. And then it even gets more juicy where it turns out that those 2 girls are escorts. And the pimp is now after Frank for $8,000 for hanging out services rendered.
For services rendered. Right.
Oh my God.
Here's I never understand, and I still to this day, because it even happened, like the last Super Bowl, this last one, the one before in Arizona, where I can't remember his name, got busted for having prostitutes in his hotel room. It was just kind of like, I mean, is it that you're just hoping that you don't meet some groupie who's going to try and get impregnated by you to sue you, so you just figure, okay, I'm going to hire professionals to do it, where maybe I can trust them. But at the same time, how do you still trust them? I mean, case in point, you've got the Miami's offensive coordinator who just resigned this week because the girl he was talking to, which I believe is an escort, let's not say model, because the girl, I don't know what things she was modeling, but it wasn't modeling. And all of a sudden she comes and posts this.
It was in-person modeling.
Right.
It was an Instagram account and post photos of herself posing. Right?
I mean, we could at least say Instagram model, where it says, for booking information, contact me at gmail.com. Because really, that's all we're talking about here. It's just, but I was listening to one of the shows on ESPN this morning, and they were like, oh, we made contact with the Nevada model. Like, I don't know why we're posing her as a model, because she wasn't. But anyways, beside the point, that's the same kind of thing, is that why do these guys choose these women that are supposedly professionals or not? They're waking up bills. Like, how does Frank Gore, a man who already was well into his career with lots of, plenty of money, had his wife and kids, why is he going to deal with 2 prostitutes who also then have pimps? Like, at least go through an agency. How about go through an agency where it's legit and you don't have to worry about some pimp coming after you for $8,000?
But he's not thinking of anything. He just wants what he wants when he wants it. He's not, I think that's what it is. It's
but how hard is it for Frank Gore to get into a club or get into a bar and take a chick home? It's not, he's an attractive man. I've looked, I've seen his pictures. I've seen his face numerous times. My only personal issue is that he's short. He's 5'9". Hence, one more thing that I need you guys to start working on for me too. I want to know how tall their girlfriends are, because a lot of these guys that are short, I'm just... I'm curious to know how tall the girls are because I have a height complex myself. I'm 5'10". And even if it was Frank Gore, I was dating Frank Gore. I don't think I could do it. 5'9" doesn't work for me. So I'm curious to know how many women out there. Uh-huh.
I don't think you should ever date Frank Gore.
Right.
One woman or another, no.
No, I don't think I could ever.
I get you.
Right.
Melissa, you can take J.J. Watt. He's 6'5".
I would love to take J.J. Watt because he has these monster arms, not to mention the genes in his family. Whew, Lord. Good Lord.
You're an arms girl, I forgot.
What? Yeah, exactly.
You're an arms. Yeah.
I am an arms woman and I love them. I love them so much. But so Frank Gore, yeah, it seems that has he been in any recent trouble, do we know, or is that pretty much he kind of slowed his roll?
I can't tell if he's just cleaned up his act or he's gotten the privacy down. Like there's no pictures of him, there's no anything. So
like leave your cell phone at the door, like make sure there's no extra. Okay. So he's like, crossing his T's and dotting his I's basically, maybe. Or maybe he's just
a crisis intervention specialist that's out on the trail. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That's right. There's a team that could hire these people. Yeah, they might.
Wow.
They might.
Well, I'm glad that he's been able to, stay out of it a little bit and it's kind of calmed down for him. So that's good. That's really good. So, I guess we can kind of move forward then since we kind of talked a little bit about J.J. Watt. I love to hear more about Watt. I love the Watt family. Like if I could have been able to be a neighbor at the time when the Watts were growing up, I mean, could you imagine just having 3 hot young guys living next to you that all played sports and were just, like the typical all-American boys? I'd be in heaven. I'm not gonna.
I want to know what they cook for Sunday dinner. Is it like 4 roasts?
I want to know how much their grocery bill was every day, every week. I mean, could you imagine? Those are like, and I don't know. Is there more than 3 boys, or is it just 3? I don't know. I
believe it's just 3 boys, and they're all in the NFL right now.
Correct. Okay. Well, let's listen. Let's hear a little about J.J. Watt then.
Okay. Well, a lot of us know a lot about him, but I just have little juicy tidbits that I have always loved about him. He just seems like such a humble guy. I wouldn't even call them, they're not necessarily juicy, he's just like you guys, if you're just getting to know him now, how adorable he is.
Right.
And loving. I feel like that's the type of guy he actually is.
Yeah.
One of just cute little stories about him. You guys have probably seen him wear his black arm brace, his elbow pad, his elbow brace. Okay. And so I think he dislocated his elbow a couple years back, and so he had the brace on, obviously, for obvious reasons. And but his great grandma could identify him better on the field, and he told him that. And now, so he wears it all the time, every game.
Wait, is that the same grandmother that wore his jersey once? There was a picture that someone posted of her old.
Yes.
Oh, that's
okay, so let me
cute.
tell you about that. So grandma, he's number 99. His great grandmother, she's now 100. But just over a year ago, she turned 99, and on her birthday, he gave her his jersey with his number 99, and it says great grandma on the back.
That is so adorable.
This year, about a year ago, just before she turned 100, though, and I think it was the first Sunday of football, she went to church wearing his jersey. That's the cutest thing ever. Yeah, totally. I imagine her being really tiny, and it's like a huge dress.
Oh my God, it was. She was so adorable. I looked at the picture and was like, whose grandma is this? And I was like, oh my God, it really is J.J. Watt's family. Like, she's adorable.
Yeah, and his great grandmother, adorable.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So he got a scholarship to play at Central Michigan right out of high school. And I think he was wanting to play at a bigger football school. But he ended up going there because that was the one place he got a scholarship. And he went there, and I think they had him playing tight end. and it just wasn't working out for him. I don't know if he didn't like his position or what, but he ended up leaving the school. And then, and he was determined to walk on somewhere. And so he was working at Pizza Hut for a couple months, and then ended up walking on at Wisconsin. And, you know, the rest of the
Can you imagine him delivering your pizzas? I'd be calling the pizza delivery service every day.
Every night. Yeah. That's 10 pounds for me right there. Oh, my God. Okay, another cute story about adorable JJ.
I also know...
Yeah, sure,
what else?
Yeah.
Huh? Go ahead.
I don't know if you noticed when he sacks the quarterback, he always stands up and salutes. And that's a sign of respect and appreciation for the military and the families who might be in the stadium and stuff like that. Every single time, it's like his thing.
Right.
Salute, which I love.
So sweet.
Okay, when he first got drafted, maybe I think he got his first paycheck, he decides to Google, what do rich people buy? And apparently he didn't like any of the answers, so he was like, all right, scratch that. I'm just going to go on living like I normally live. How many people need to Google what to buy? I know.
I mean, this kid is like, from a small town of Wisconsin, which I'm sure doesn't have very much luxurious, like as far as luxurious, items. I'm sure there's not like a Louis Vuitton store or somewhere just sitting around in the mall there. He probably didn't really have all that, no one's driving Porsches or Ferraris maybe through Wisconsin in the snow, I'm guessing. So, but how cute. That just shows. Aw.
Sure. He probably just wanted a pickup truck, and it was showing, like, Ferraris and stuff. He's like, what the hell am I going to do with the red Ferrari? Yeah. You're not going to fit in this.
He wanted, like, new hunting gear and stuff, and, he wasn't sure.
Exactly. Yeah. That's right. A brand new fishing pole. Yeah.
Exactly.
Currently, he dates, her name's Elisa, and I think that's how you pronounce her name, I'm not positive, but, she is the captain of the Houston Dash soccer team. And
she's actually really cute and really pretty. Yeah. They're going to have like tall, athletic kids together. Yeah.
Yeah. She's 5'5", he's 6'5". So does that make you
she's only 5'5"?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that makes me mad because as a tall woman, my own personal issue is that how are you going to sit there and take all the tall... How are short women... And I don't mean nothing but, like, mean or any negative towards short women. But if you're, vertically challenged, why is it that you need to have a man who's 6'5"? You're 5'5". Someone that... Like a 5'10" guy couldn't do it for you. Like, why is it that all the short girls still want the tall guys, but then all of the tall guys are gone for the tall women?
Exactly.
It's not fair.
Fran and I are not tall girls. No, I hear you, but we like the tall guys too. Tall guys are better looking. They just are. So your 5'9" guy, is that not tall enough for you? 5'9" doesn't feel tall? No.
I mean, doesn't 6 feet feel tall? Isn't 6 feet good enough for you? Like, I want my guys to be 6'5"
would be too much. That's too much. But 6', I'm very
like,
happy.
can't you guys just have, like, the 5'10", 5'11"ers and maybe the 6-footers? Like, I would, like, the shortest I want to go is, like, 6'1". I would prefer 6'3" to 6'5".
I'm with you. I agree. That's why I said to Fran and Elisa, come on, 5'9" is plenty for you. You take them, because when I put shoes on, I'm now towering over that. I know, but when we go out to dinner with your man and he towers over my little boyfriend, it makes me feel like
But you guys all aren't laying in the same bed together. That's what matters. So my issue is I don't want some guy's feet dangling at my shins when I'm laying. Because, most guys come back as, it doesn't matter when you're laying down. God. Well, no, it does because I feel your feet on my shins. I don't want to feel like your short legs next to me.
That's so funny.
So anyways, there would never be a problem with that in JJ Watt, because although now that I know how tall I thought she was taller for some reason. Dang it, I really wanted to like her, but now that she's stolen another tall man, I may have a slight issue with that. Gosh. What
too.
are his brothers doing? Are they are they available?
No, I don't think so. One I know has a girlfriend.
Uh-huh.
I think the one who plays for the Steelers.
Right. So
The one who got
TJ Watt
drafted.
just got drafted this year. He plays for the Steelers.
TJ.
He's doing really well for them actually so far. And what I didn't know is
he
that
looks like it.
yeah, and then there's the other brother, Derek, who got drafted last year, and he plays for the Chargers.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so
I'm not sure. I feel like they may all have girlfriends. I just can't recall. I know one. I know.
I mean, how could they not, right? You know, how could they not?
Exactly.
Not like any of them are in my age group anyway. So hey.
No.
Oh well, I know that JJ. He uses Twitter a lot, and he was wishing his brother TJ a happy birthday and was just like, I'm gonna live vicariously through you and Derek for the rest of the season, apparently except for Christmas, which I'm not sure if the Texans play somebody, if they play one of the teams or something.
They must. I read that exact same post.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. I think that must be exactly what's taking place.
Yeah, I'm sure that's
cute,
the case. I know. So cute.
Lovely.
So cute. Anything else we need to know about Mr. JJ?
So from the beloved JJ Watt, I'm going to go to kind of the most maligned quarterback probably in the NFL, Jay Cutler. I was surprised. Granted, he's done nothing so far for the Dolphins. I don't really think I've watched the whole game even, but I was surprised. I did find some statistics from when he was with the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
He's still the all-time passing yards leader. He did in 2010 bring the Bears within a game of the Super Bowl, and they would have won if he hadn't. But he is just universally hated, and there's some reasons. I mean, he's gotten.
There's a lot of reason.
He's got this 1-year contract
for $10 million.
He's got this 1-year contract, but I think he has a reputation of not playing hurt. He chokes.
Mm-hmm.
And mostly he has a bad attitude. He is always has a kind of a scowl or disinterested look on his face. Resting bitch face. Yeah, it's like resting
bitch face. Love it.
And it is so. Mostly, I want to talk about his wife though. Like, he doesn't even have an Instagram, because if he did, it would be full of just. I mean, he is doom and gloom. Just tornadoes and you may not have liked Kristen Cavallari from when she was on the Hills, but she's gotten her act together. The girl has right now. She's killing it with her Instagram posts. When he basically says the only reason he's playing is because she wants $10 million. Well, she pushed him to take the contract, and he has this cushy job lined up as a commentator afterwards. Maybe very clear looking at him, he doesn't want to be there. Maybe she doesn't want him in the house. I mean, it's very possible. She didn't move to Miami. Like, kids are still staying in Nashville. But she now has her book Balancing in Heels, and it's a lifestyle book about how, her diet and exercise. She reversed his type 1 diabetes.
Oh, wow.
She's got a great attitude. She's got her shoe line, her jewelry line. She's just written a cookbook called True Roots. She's got some now. I will say, and I did look this up, and not to bring any more hate into his life, but they're anti-vaxxers. So what's the anti-vaxxer? So they don't vaccinate their children. So it's just to add more controversy. So
right.
She posted when he came back to the NFL. He's been getting fat shamed. She posted the picture of him. We did a repost. I mean, she almost broke the internet with it. It was a picture of him from behind, looking amazing.
Oh, ass shot. It was on their vacation or something, right?
Exactly. So, she knows what she's doing. She's good PR for him, and if he could just get his act together a little bit. He's got the great arm. He's thrown to okay people. He's just been average. He hasn't done anything spectacular. People do not like a average, doesn't put themselves out there, has a bad attitude guy.
Yeah.
She, though, is this. I call him the anti-Tom Brady, and she's kind of she's the Tom Brady. She's the eager beaver. She's the hustler. He's got no hustle. So Giselle kind of sometimes is. How does he get her? It's funny because she found her and tried to contact her through her agent while he was in college, and she was having none of it, like didn't want anything to do with him. Huh. But apparently, when they both met later on in Chicago, he was able to woo her. But the only time you ever see him smiling or into it is when they're together. So they've got these 2 kids. He's going to retire in a year. You know, he has some natural talent, but he just doesn't use it. And so he's pretty hated. But I do think his wife's she's risen and she's reached her potential. And I think you're seeing that a lot with these guys. Sometimes, you know, the women are surpassing and eclipsing their men in terms of what they're doing with their lives and what is happening. There's a lot of athletes that are getting together. There's we love Eric Decker and Jesse James Decker. Yeah. So that's happening more often in football than, you know, we love the Wax Miami show.
But Eric Decker actually had a good career. Like, he played well. I mean, here's the deal.
100%.
Jay Cutler, if you were to go on Wikipedia like right now, and if you looked up any other American football quarterback or even player for that matter that's been in the league for the 10, 12 seasons he's been in, you would see like career history, you would see stats, you would see all the breakdown of their highlights and awards. The only award he has from professional football is going to the Pro Bowl in 2008. That's it.
Right.
That's
he also, he has this reputation of not being not playing a lot of games and going out when he's hurt, but he has a winning record. He's supposedly the 39th, which isn't great, but it's up there, most all-time passing yards in the NFL history. He's ahead of Terry Bradshaw, Joe Namath, Randall Cunningham. He's not great. He doesn't have a lot going on, but guys that have the reputation that he does, they lose their jobs. And he's been a he's every year they're like, Jay's gone. But every year he kept getting a new job, and this has got to be it. And and not only that, Chicago was so excited when he left.
Well, and Chicago never really, to this day.
And I don't think the Dolphins, I think they would use anybody else.
Well, Chicago never really has had much of a team through the years that they've had him. I mean, they got into a couple playoffs. They never really succeeded much throughout his career, and to no fault of just his. I mean, he had a couple targets here and there, but yeah, he does get injured a lot. He was injury prone. The couple of stats that stick out to me, only because I don't really like stats too often, but for him, I had to look this one up because I know he threw a lot of interceptions in his life, and his touchdown to interception ratio was 211 touchdowns to 149 interceptions. So he basically was over half as many interceptions as touchdowns.
That's not good. Yeah.
Which isn't good. And the other thing that bothered me, I think, beyond, I don't like to have our shows go too much into controversy. And we all know the Kaepernick situation, that he was overlooked for the position for Miami as well. The one thing I didn't care for when he did get picked and selected for the Miami quarterback position was that when he went on his interview or he went on his press conference, his first initial reaction was, you know what? I'm out of shape, but hey, I'm a quarterback, so it doesn't really matter. Like, who says that?
His attitude sucks. I mean, that is...
Yeah.
There's no question about it. And, he's doing it for this year. I think that's all... he may not like this. He's not going to hear it. But, his wife is the hustler. She pushed him. She was able to... And he's gone into the press and said that the only reason he's playing is because she wants him out of the house.
I believe it.
Say that. For sure. Well, the family didn't move to Miami. They're staying in Nashville.
I mean, you see how much he loafs around the field. Just think of how much he'd be loafing around the house. Who would want that in there?
I know. I bet she doesn't even watch the game. She's like, I've seen that.
Yeah, I don't.
She does look cute whenever she's like at a home game. Yeah. But her Instagram, Kristen Cavallari, just her like it's a pretty good Instagram, and it does feature him in a pretty good light.
Okay.
And I don't know why. I guess I chose him to talk about because there's a lot of couples. And I like her.
So what's her Instagram? So for all of our listeners, what's her Instagram? And then also, do you know when the next game is for Miami when they're playing? So in case anybody wants to watch him throw a few interceptions.
Okay, so I mean, he better step up. So her name is, it's just Kristen Cavallari, KristenCavallari. They are next playing. Well, if you want to watch Frank Gore play with the Colts, they'll be playing the Titans for Monday Night Football.
Oh, Monday Night Football. That actually will be... You know, the Titans have surprised me a lot. I was actually in Tennessee for the Seahawks game a couple weeks ago. We lost to them. So definitely interesting to see the Colts go after the Tennessee Titans. I think that's in Tennessee too, is it? I think so.
Oh, yeah. And the Dolphins are going to be playing on Sunday against the Falcons.
Ooh, the Falcons. That's another. Well, I think the Falcons hopefully would have an easy win there. And then also for all of our listeners too, if you do or don't follow sports as much as myself maybe, or JJ Watt had a season-ending injury, which we forgot to mention. So he's actually out for the rest of the season, which is so sad. You know, the Texans defense took a couple hard hits this weekend and lost 2 players on season-ending injuries, which is going to kind of shake up that whole defense that has been, you know, pretty rock solid for so many years. But the Texans also, are they playing this weekend as well? I haven't followed up on who has byes this week, so I'm not sure myself. But
that's a good question. I'll look it up. But you remember J.J. Watt? He played in like 3 games last season, and he was out for back surgery. Do you remember that?
Yes, I know. And this was his year. He was coming back, and he had played so good the first 4 games too. Ugh, just sad. I feel bad. I mean, I'm not, you know, and people are wondering if it's his last year, if he's going to keep playing. You know, it's hard to come back.
Hopefully we'll see him back.
Yeah, definitely.
Good. But we could see him possibly on the sidelines, which I love watching him on the sidelines in their, like, just shirts and stuff.
Right.
He'll be playing the Browns.
Okay.
This
Interesting. That'll be interesting because you never know. Cleveland hasn't been doing great, but they could easily do well against a lackluster defense now that there's not too many people.
Yeah, that could happen for the Browns this upcoming game.
Yeah, well, good. Ladies, again, another amazing After Dark episode. Hashtag, if you follow us, use the hashtags behind the mask, hashtag off the field. I always learn something new, and I'm really, I guess, interested in the backstory on Frank Gore, as well as some of the JJ Watt stuff. And, you know, Jay Cutler, I definitely have changed my tune to Miss Cavallari, but the when she was on the Hills, for sure, I wasn't a fan. But any last minute words? Or
if you look at her Instagram, it's pretty impressive, and I feel like, you know, for a reality star, she's got a classy thing going on, and I think she's the woman behind. I mean, she outclasses him.
Good. Good. Again, before we leave, where can our listeners find you guys as far as on Twitter or social media? And then talk about the app as well, please.
Okay. So you could find us on Instagram and Twitter at FootballBFF, all one word. We're on Facebook, Football_BFF. All the information we talked about today is on our app that you could get at the Apple App Store under FootballBFF, all one word.
And so for all the listeners out there that are...
For free.
Yeah, the app is for free. It is an amazing app to open up, especially on a Sunday or when you're watching football. You can, search for the players that are playing. You can find out some little juicy tidbits. You can see how much they're making or who their girlfriend is and all the other kind of fun stuff. So, I think that's really great. I think that's awesome, ladies. Thank you so much. Also, for our listeners, if anyone is in Las Vegas this Sunday, myself and Stephanie will be hosting a Girl Chat Sports woman cave. You know how their men always have the man caves? Well, this is going to be a woman cave to watch football all day Sunday at the Downtown Watch Zone, which is in downtown Las Vegas at the Las Vegas Event Center, 200 South 3rd Street, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89101. We will be there for the first games at 10 a.m. and should be there through into the 5 o'clock game. So if you're out and about in Las Vegas or in town, please join us. You can go on our Facebook or our Instagram to get that address and those details. But again, it's October 15th for the Woman Cave. Ladies, again, what a wonderful show. I wish you guys were here for the weekend to come join us, but but it's okay. We'll pull through. Hopefully we'll have another one sometime soon too. But thanks so much, and we will see you guys again later for the next one.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.